I grew up wanting to build something that mattered. I dreamt big, got let down, tried again. And in 2021, I won. $2,500 turned into $1.5 million on a single bet. When money hits like that fast, life becomes a blur. And no one tells you it leaves the same way it comes. In a blink of an eye, it was gone. My future, my present, my past, all in one moment. The one chance I had to set up generations after me, gone. But that was 5 years ago. The goal hasn't changed, but I have. And these vlogs started as a way to keep me alive, but now they're proof I'm still becoming someone worth watching. Welcome back to the archives of a Shiba Millionaire.
How's it going, guys? So today is, let's just switch over here really quick. There we go. It is 8:36 p.m. Thursday, February 13th, 2025. Boy, have things gone crazy. Let's show you guys really quick the Bitcoin stuff, and then we'll hop into everything else. Please don't make me log in like crazy. Okay, cool. So, looking at 96K on Bitcoin, not too bad. Kind of actually, we've just been in a pattern in this entire month has just been like the same pattern. I'd say a range for like the last, all the way since November, it's just been a range here. Just like a range all the way from here. It's like nothing but ranges is crazy. So, yeah, Bitcoin hasn't really done too much, so not too much difference from last time. Same with Ethereum, not too much of a difference. I think that's also just been in a range like the last year or so. So, nothing new. Nothing new there in the crypto scene. I'm just going to say it straight up, I've taken pretty much everything out of crypto. It's one of those things where it's just mentally draining to like figure all that stuff out. It's not really even part of my plan. I'm just like putting things aside and stuff. So right now, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go ahead and just keep my render doing render things, let that build up, and for the time being, I'm just going to let that do its thing weekly, not even pay attention to it, and just focus on everything else, okay? So that's what I've been doing. I currently have, let me see really quick, 19 bucks. It's not everything for this week, but that's, yeah. I'll probably have about 120, 130 next week. So, not too bad, right? What are some things that are happening? I got a lot of interesting things to go over. So, let's start with, so I talked about crypto. Let's start about art and stuff, just because that's the quickest one. So art with the mangas and stuff, going very well. I just finished a lot of like story development stuff, so the outline is all finished and everything like that. Now we're finally getting into the paneling section, so it's actually like putting the dialogue and everything like that together and structuring it kind of like a script, like a movie script, where basically you have like one page that basically details how that page is going to go. Then you have your next page, it's going to detail how that page is going to go. And you just keep on layering those pages so that way you know what the shot's going to be, what the character is going to be doing, what characters are going to be there, what they're going to be saying, and then that's it. Next shot, sort of like that. So laying out just the foundations of the shots and stuff like that. And then after all the shots and dialogue are done, we go back, double check some things, maybe correct some things. And once all the details and stuff are just made aware, once going through, I'm going to do this for every 10 chapters. I'm going to go through, because it's going to be like 10, because every page, or sorry, every 30 pages is going to be one chapter. And every chapter, and we're trying to get to 10 chapters. So in 10 chapters, I'm going to review everything because 10 chapters is enough to actually make a book. That's like 270 to 300 pages. In this case, it would be 300 pages. So we do 300 pages. That can make a whole volume. A volume is enough to be an entire book on itself. This is going to be the largest and most, the most I'm actually going to be producing as far as like in how long it's not only been, it's been almost a whole year, and we haven't even finished. Remember, Demon's Friend, which was 70 pages, so that's roughly about 2 chapters worth, was a one shot, and that took 1 year to make and produce and market and stuff like that. And that was just a 2 chapter one shot. Now we're doing something that's 5 times that, but in a sense, it's actually it's a lot less, a lot less pressure because we had time limit and we were like, but there's no time limit on this, so that's part of the reason why it's a little bit slower. Also, it's one of those things where it's like it does take more time to basically fundamentally develop an entire story rather than a small scene, which is what I had in A Demon's Friend. It was just a couple of scenes, enough to intrigue a person to get into it and prove that we could do something, but not enough to basically be like, you know what, let's keep making more of this. You know what I mean? There will be more, but not at that level, or not at how that was structured. This is going to be a lot more creative and put you actually like this could actually be an anime where the other one can't. You know what I mean? Not that the other one can't, but it's more like a flashback, in a sense, like just one scene of a giant story. And for a story of that magnitude, that's why we're trying to produce smaller things in order to get up to there, because I don't want to fudge up this massive concept that I have for the story that that I told you guys actually last week, I think. No, I told I said it in a different video about Hanako. I don't know where I said that or ever, but it's a massive story that I stopped basically working on so that way I could work on these smaller projects. But these smaller projects will allow me to fulfill that idea with so much proof of concept and portfolio work that I can be like, okay, I've have enough under my belt to conquer this beast now. So that's what we're going for, and I'm super, super excited. It's going to take a while. It's still going to take probably another 3 to 4 months before we're actually ready. But we're going to be ready at such a scale now where we can actually go ahead and submit a 5 chapter, because all you need is 5 chapters, more or less. 5 chapter comic over to like actual studios and, you know, get it actually published. So I'm super excited. Like, this is why we're putting a lot of time, a lot more effort and time into this, because it's something that I really do see a future in. It's something that you really have to, like writing, like any type of writing, you really do have to put time and effort in. And it's not all the time is it easy to write, right? A lot of people think that, yeah, you just write a little bit every day and you're good. No, there are going to be times, especially if you're working a job and you're not a full-time writer and you're not a professional writer, you never expected to be a writer, but you have the idea in your head, you want to conceptualize it, you know, sometimes you're going to have swings where you don't feel like writing, or like me, I'm a mood writer. So I write when I get into a mood, and it's hard because sometimes you can't force it. Like if I force myself, yes, I'll write a little bit, but it's not, I end up hating it, and then eventually I just don't write for a little bit for longer. So I've learned over time when I do write to just take my time with it. relay those ideas on paper, have foundation work, and just go from the foundation work and ask myself questions and go from those questions and stem out until you actually branch out to more things and then ask questions about those things. So it's like it takes time. What I'm getting at is that it takes time to write things and just have a lot of appreciation for other writers and other artists because it's a hard thing to do. It is. It's hard to conceptualize an idea, put it on paper, structure it properly, and have somebody take your idea and basically put it on film, put it on art, put it on other stuff. Like it's a whole process, and it's so fun to me that in the last 10 years I've been able to do this, be able to give people my ideas and have them conceptualize it along with me um, in different mediums, in different forms, and stuff like that. I just find it funny that I don't really have a portfolio. I mean, I do, but I don't. Me personally, I don't have a portfolio. So I think this would also be one of those things where it's like, finally. I mean, A Demon's Friend was my first portfolio piece. It was. I could say that I made that, you know. I was the other half of that project. It was a like it was a two-person project, and we did it successfully, you know. And to do this, it's only going to elevate us higher because not only is it, okay, we've already done that, but it's going to be something more, better, stronger, more refined. And I think people want to see that. People like seeing that growth. You know, it's one thing when you have like one project that's here and then your next project is here as well. It's like, okay, we want to see something better, but it's another thing to see you're here and you strive, right? You strive for here and you actually get there. You know, that's an achievement. That's something that people can't fathom. They're like, wow, that's amazing. And so, I think that this is just going to, by far, be something great. And I'm going to have to figure out how we're going to position ourselves to really put it out there. And I think at first I want to go ahead and actually send copies or scans to these companies so that way we can try to get exclusive rights with, you know, a big company. That would be, I mean, that would literally put me out like my mind would be blown. So, we'll see. Like I said, later this year should be amazing for a lot of reasons. And I think you guys are going to see you guys will just see because I keep saying it and then sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Things get better, things don't. So you guys are going to see. But I got a whole plan put together. It's not just one here, oh, like this small thing going to the next. I got like three different like things kind of branching on top. So I've already told you some of the plan, but this is another piece of that. So I'm excited. So that's the big thing there. That's just one thing of this week that's going to be interesting. I told you guys last time that I got to get my car fixed. I got to get my brakes done, my intake manifold fixed. I got to get my tires replaced. I don't know if I said that one, but yeah, I have to get my tires replaced as well. So, what are we doing? How busy is this week actually going to get? Well, let me explain. Getting my intake manifold done, hopefully tomorrow. But if not, then I have to figure a whole bunch of other shit out because I might not have a car Saturday, Sunday, possibly Monday, which I would actually hate. Like, I really hope they're able to fix that shit tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm gonna be pissed. Plus, they said that they lost my keys. They gave it to some lady on accident. Not them giving it, but she like just stopped in right after me and was able to take my keys. What the fuck? So I really hope they fix that tomorrow because I'm calling, I'm calling 10:30 a.m. in the morning to see if they fucking fix that because I'm going to be pissed. Let me tell you what, I'm gonna be pissed. So yeah, there's that. Secondly, I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. That's gonna be fun, right? Haven't gone to a dentist appointment in about 2 years. I really hope my teeth aren't fucked up. Um, I try to brush as best I can, but I don't brush all the time. It's one of those things, and I'm like I said, this is gonna be probably the realest video you guys have ever seen from me. Cause trust me, I got some juicy, juicy things. And like I said, I don't mind. I think it's one of those things where I don't mind at this point because you guys are gonna see these videos probably in 2026, 2027, sometime around there. I don't know. 2 years from now, from when the actual date is that I'm recording. So, what's nice about that is that there's going to be a major delay in how my videos come across to you then, and that's all by design, right? I want you guys to see the delayed journey so that way you guys can compare and contrast how it is. Maybe I'm a bum in 2 years. Then you guys be like, okay, how did that downfall happen? Or again, I could be very wealthy and well off and done everything that I said that I was going to do. And you guys can see that progression too. So there's going to be a clear contrast from what I'm doing from the videos and then what I'm doing now. And it's just interesting because I don't put everything out there, right? You know, I'll give people snippets of my life, but even family and stuff like that. I mean, really, these videos are mainly for family because they don't know what's going on. All they know is what I put on social media, on Facebook, to be honest. Facebook is where they get all my things. I barely use Facebook besides like football or happy birthdays or man, I hate, this week or something like that. It's, just weekly to monthly updates. Whereas like I use Twitter for like weekly and daily updates, right? Um, and Snapchat is just daily, hourly, minute updates. So it's just interesting. The way that I use social media is not the way that everyone uses it, but I find it very interesting that my family just don't know what I do. So when this comes out and everything kind of releases and stuff like that, and they're able to see like the progress of things, I think it's going to be very interesting because they have no clue about any of this stuff. And when I show it to them and when they see it and stuff, it's one thing when I actually tell them what's going on, like I explain like the story to both sides of my grandparents, and they were like, "Oh, snap!" Like they had their like things that I should be doing and stuff like that. But it's just interesting because they don't know all the details and it'll take too long to actually go over it. So you'd be like, "Hey, this is what happened," and show them, you know. And that's what these videos are really gonna be for. If you guys want to know the deeper meaning, it's really just to show my family, and have them see the journey, and have other people. And the other thing is to have other people see the journey, and realize like this is the experience. This is what life is really about. It's not, you know, somebody getting on a vlog and already being rich. You never see how they get rich. You never see how they get popular. Sometimes you're early enough to follow somebody and then they get popular and stuff like that. Maybe that's me, but I'm not counting on these videos putting myself into the limelight. Like I'm not doing that. A lot of streamers do that. Their whole goal is to make it same with the YouTube videos. Make a video, make sure that it gets popular, and then basically become famous like that. But my goal isn't really that. It's just putting videos out as a log so people can really understand who I am as a person, family, and my struggles and some of my downfalls and my successes and my thinking, some of my love life, stuff like that, and put that into something that they can see, or just learn about from me directly without me actually directly saying it because I don't call people. I don't do much of the things that a lot of people do. I just don't. I really do like being to myself, going out every now and then, and just enjoying myself that way with some very nice balance. So That being said, let's get to the juicy stuff. This is what's gonna make all the girls go crazy, and this is what basically my rant was all about. Um, so I'm going to a dentist tomorrow, right? I'm getting my hair done tomorrow as well. That's why it's all a mess right now, but it's gonna be done tomorrow. Like I've grown it out now after COVID. I've grown it out now for 2 months, so it should be ready and a lot better than it was last time when Sandra did it. But she's amazing at what she does. Sandra, if you ever see this, I don't think she will, but like, if you ever see this or I ever become famous or something like that, I will always use you to twist my hair because you're amazing. Um, Last time she did it a little too small, but that's okay because again, it was already pretty. It was kind of unworkable when it first got done, anyways. So that's why it is what it is. But hopefully, it comes into form the way I want it to. I don't know, like I know kind of what I want, but I don't know exactly what I want until I see it. Same thing with my art, like, or not my art, but my artist, when they draw their stuff and send it to me, I'm like, try it this way. I don't know how it's gonna look, but let me see how it looks because I don't know if I like it yet. Like, it's one of those things where you really have to like feel it out before you know what you don't know. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. Going to the dentist tomorrow. Getting my hair done tomorrow. That's Friday. Saturday, I have work all the way till about 4 p.m. After 4, oh boy. Oh boy. What did I do, guys? What the fuck? Who am I? Okay, are you ready for this? Here's the spicy, juicy details. 6 months ago, I went to a bar. Um, Very interesting experience because usually when I go to bars, it's with other people, stuff like that. I said, fuck it. I'm gonna go by myself. I'm gonna drink a couple shots of whiskey beforehand. Cool. And yeah, I'll just have fun. So I did that. Drank some whiskey. Went to the bar. Just was watching people dance and I was drinking and having fun. All of a sudden, a girl sits right next to me. I don't remember how old she was. Maybe she was in her 30s. Maybe she was in her 40s. Something like that. But she was cute. And so I was like, there was just like chatter going on and stuff like that. And one thing led to another, and she told me to go outside because it was really loud and stuff like that. And go outside, we start talking. I think we were talking, or it was cold too. It was cold. I was a little drunk, not super, super, not like crazy drunk or anything like that. When I say drunk, I usually just mean like intoxicated, but not enough to not like drive, for example. So, we're just talking and talking and talking. I just remember like some of the conversations was like, you know, what do you do? And, what do you look for in a person? And how is your relationship right now? Oh, I don't have one. Blah, 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 blah. So it was just a nice conversation and it was intellectual too. It was like, she was a very smart woman, um, from what I remember. And so that was like 6 months ago. And we ended up basically just exchanging phone numbers, which was cool. And I remember the next morning, I look at my phone and I go ahead and I send a text because I was moving at the time. So I had a lot of things that were going on. I think I really just went to the bar to kind of like ease myself a lot of stress at that time because this is when, and I think you guys know around what time it was because it was like a little bit before I was moving, and that was a very stressful time, by the way. Especially with like moving from Frank and moving to a new place, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So it was one of those things where, yeah, I was trying to figure everything out, get everything all set and stuff like that. And so I remember the day after we met and stuff like that, I text her, hey, I'm going to be moving and stuff like that. Yesterday was really fun and stuff. It was great to have an intellectual chat with you. We should do something like in the sense of we should do that again sometime or something like that. I might have not even reinitiated like that because I was just too in my head about moving and all this other stuff. So that was 6 months ago. 2 days ago, sorry, 3 days ago, go and look at my phone. I get my new phone actually. So I just got a new phone because essentially this guy is cracked. So you can see the corner is cracked. So I've been meaning to do this for the longest time. Just never got around to doing it. And so I get a new phone. Go to look all my contacts because I want to make sure everything's there. I go into my contacts and who's this girl? I go and read the text and I say, no way. No way. There's no fucking way I left her on red. Me, a cute girl. I haven't dated in like God knows how long. Almost 6, 7 years. Just personal growth for me. I don't need a relationship. Fuck them hoes. But at the same, no, kidding. At the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, um, shit, might as well try something. Fuck it. It's literally, that's exactly what my mental said when I looked at that message. I said, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? I got her number, right? 6 months ago. She says no. I'm not looking for a super committed relationship or anything like that. But it would be nice. And the thing to know about me, and just relationship talk, I don't need up here, and I don't need down here, right? Down here would be like slutty and like only wanting casual. Up here would be like commitment, marriage, nothing else besides that. It's that, like, I just want somebody in the middle, right? I just want somebody I can hang out with. Doesn't even have to be down here, right? I can go to movies with. I can be my first person to be my first like priority, right? To just call up, hey, you got enough time to, go grab something to eat or something like that. I could do that with my boy Mike, but sometimes, he's busy. And it would be cool to have like another person that I could rely on to need to do something social, right? Need to go dance, need to do something. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go ahead and send her a text and see what the fuck happens. Worst thing that can happen, she says no. I don't know who you are. Get the fuck out of my contacts, that sort of thing, right? I text her. I say, hey, it's been a bit. I had a good move. 6 months later, by the way. I had a good move. I'm so sorry I didn't respond to this text from whoever. Do you want to catch up for some drinks? I got rejected. Just kidding. She actually said yeah. She said, yeah, you want to get some drinks and meet up on Saturday. I'm a god. I'm a god at this game. The Riz Master is back. Okay, I'm gonna stop making a fool of myself. No, but honestly, that was surprising. Just because, again, when you haven't been, and again, this goes for the reason why I'm even telling this stuff, and I think it's important actually. That's the only reason why I am explaining it. Normally, I don't really talk about relationship on here, but relationships. Not that I have a whole bunch or anything like that, but I think it's important because there's a lot of people out there that maybe, and I think it's becoming more of a trend, that have gone 2+ years and are scared to get back into things. What if I don't? Some of the questions I'm thinking now, and again, this is just gonna be totally unfiltered. But how the fuck do I kiss? You know, it's one of those things where it's like if you've only been in one relationship or one like real solid relationship, you ask yourself these questions after like not dating after a while. How do you kiss? How do you, how do you flirt again? Not that that's been any issue with me, but I'm just saying, for the most part, like you forget, you fall out of touch with these aspects, you know? How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? And you start like doubting yourself in some way. Um, the only thing I could say about that is, again, when you're in a situation where now you're more confident because I feel like putting like some distance in between relationships can be a double-edged sword, right? You can you can self doubt like shit, it's been this long, I'll never get somebody, or you can basically say, you know what? That was a lot of good self-improvement. I think I'm ready to go ahead and play the game now, right? But I'm not going to take it too seriously because I care about myself enough to basically put myself above, being used in a sense, right? So I think I'm gotten to a point where I don't care as much because the end goal is still me becoming what I want to become and achieving my goals. And my goals are above any relationship I have. That's a stronger motivation for me. I can care less about a female if I get a 50/90, for example, because I know a 50/90 will basically provide me income versus a chick, you know? So I have a date in 2 days, and that's huge. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know the spicy details. But I'll let you guys know. It's just something. I think I'm at a point now. So I'm not there yet. Okay, I'm not. That's why I'm not even going for committed. Committed isn't me right now, and it's not because I don't want it. I want it committed, but at a certain sense, you have to understand. With me, at least, I'm trying to achieve my goals. I got long-term goals. I got a couple years to really get out of this rut. Not only that, but that mental block that I was telling you, that $1 million mental that I still have, isn't going away until I reach it. So imagine the stress and the amount of things I would put on top of a relationship because they don't understand what I'm trying to go towards. Like it's hard. It's hard for anyone to understand what I'm actually trying to achieve here until I actually achieve it. Then it just like, and maybe these video logs will help people understand too that mental, but I don't know if that's actually going to come through right. The only reason why I'm documenting this stuff is so that way people can really see what's going on, and maybe somebody out there can go ahead and basically be like, wow, this is his mental, like a therapist or something can like watch these videos and like take it like as like a actual, you know, I think somebody can actually take these videos and actually use them as like a reference point of like, this is what happens when somebody comes into money, loses everything, and really has the passion or motivation versus the opposite, like I was saying, has the inverse reaction to a devastating and tragic situation. Um, you know, and I think that in itself this could just be a case study, It's one of those things like almost like a experiment, in a sense. And what it kind of reminds me of is Bo Burnham's, I don't know if he was actually locked in the thing for like a year or something like that, but I remember watching a special where I don't know if he was faking it or anything like that, but the concept still is in my imagination where he basically locked himself and wouldn't, in like in a room or something, and wouldn't let himself out for like a year until he finished like the actual full-on special that he was going for. I thought that was really powerful because it showed people, like whether it was real or not, it showed people that it's like a case study. Like what can you actually do? How does that affect your mentality? Does it force you into what you're trying to go for? Like when you separate yourself from everything and kind of just only focus on your goals. And so, although I'm not separated from everything, I'm more focused on my goals than I was when I started my videos. I didn't have a path, and what people can see too is I didn't have a path when I first started these videos. I didn't. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I think it's a very, very good reference point because I didn't really have a job. I was going back and forth between jobs. I was changing things around and having hope here, having hope there. Like, there's so many different things that you can see in that journey from before all the way up till now, and especially in like the Snapchat videos and stuff that I take, that you're gonna see like, man, this guy was really just doing everything at the time to try to figure out what the fuck was going on. And I think that's powerful. But as to the relationship thing, um, yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm gonna enlighten you guys on how things go, but it's gonna be one of those things where it's like it's gonna take time, you know. I don't expect you guys to hear, I've been dating this girl and dating this. That's not me, right? Everyone who knows me knows that's not me. I'm an analytical, fucking creative motherfucker. And that's the other thing. Like, this side and this side kind of like fight each other all the time. And that's probably why I can't write all the time. Because my sales job and most of the jobs, the real day jobs I have, are logical. Very logical. And the creative aspect kind of fights with that because it's like the nighttime. So it's kind of funny. Like my daytime hours are all logical, then it switches over, and now I'm very creative. I like dancing and stuff at night. So it's what is going on there, right? If somebody wants to do a study on that, you guys can. It's very interesting and my idea, like my how my brain works and stuff like that. But yeah, logical in the day, creative at night. I don't know what it is, right? So it's very interesting. Me as a person and my brain and this series that's gonna go out. So, as far as when it's actually gonna go out, things just keep on getting delayed. I found a video editor. I think I said that last time. I found a really good video editor, actually. I was gonna use the one that I was talking about last week. Then I found this one this week, and he just blew my mind even more so. So I think I'm going to use him. We have a call next week on Friday, hopefully. He has to get back to me. And no, that would be super cool for him to start, get things going. I just have to make sure that I have a script and everything ready and stuff like that. And that's such a pain. Um, and last but not least, I'll talk about my job a little bit. My job's going great. There are some rough patches, unfortunately. I'm not making as many sales as I want to. Conversion rate is low, but it's still my second month. Thankfully, everyone at the company kind of has my back. They know that I'm new. They know that this is a new industry for me. So it's not too bad. It's just one of those things where it's like I need to get better and I need to get better quick so I can prove myself at this company. We're still small and we're only going to be growing. We're doing leads and business leads, and I'm helping with that and growing that portion right now too. It's just I really hope that they keep me, because again, everything I'm doing really does rely right now on this income until I get a 1590, and then things will change, right? Oh, that reminds me. This is a major video, by the way. So that reminds me. So our previous goal was to get a 5090. But now there has been a twist, and it's a good twist. The idea of getting a 5090 is cool because I actually just got approved for financing on a 5090. Once one comes in stock through Best Buy, I can get it. So I'm waiting on that. I had a chance a couple of days to snag one, but I was too late. So I'm waiting to get one probably next week or the week after. Once I do get one, then I'll still probably have to wait a couple more weeks to basically get to basically like get the stuff that I need for it. But for the most part, I don't need too much. I need a new PSU and I need a couple extra loop chains to kind of close off this loop. I'm gonna have it be air cooled. Now the other cool thing, this is crazy. I just learned that I could sell both of my 3090s and my 3060s, pick up another 5090. My dad's planning to buy one of my 3090s. The 3060s are very easy to sell. And the other 3090, or for both of them, I would have to get the original founder's frame, put the GPU in the founder's frame, make sure that it works, and then boom, all good. But I'm super stoked for that. Like, I am excited. So, but yeah, that should be able to get me two 5090s. And with two 5090s, I'd be looking at roughly about, let's just say if one 5090 is like having two 3090s, right? Sorry, a little bit more, a lot more actually than two 3090s. Let's back up really quick. One 4090 is like 1.5. No, sorry, one 4090 is like two 3090s. And one 5090 is like 1.5 4090s. So I'd be going up like 3x with just one 5090. 3x, right? And right now I make about 120 a week. So 120 a week. Let's do the math really quick. No, this is crazy. 120 times 4. Actually, let's just say right now crypto's at kind of a low. So let's just say it's 100 a week times 4. That's 400. Times 3. That's 1,200 for one 5090 every month. 150.90 at the low rates that we're at right now with render. Obviously, render goes up, that rate goes up as well. We multiply that by 2, that's 2,400 a month. That covers all my expenses every single month. Now, of course, PG&E would be a thing, but that's a couple $100. That's fine. Along with what I'm being paid for salary, I could do whatever the fuck I want. After some time of saving money, paying off my debts, stuff like that. So that's the end goal, guys. Finance everything until you don't have any money left, and then just basically pay it off once you get 250.90s. I could basically pay for everything. Unless the market crashes, and then yeah, then we're fucked. But again, it's one of those things where we're just in interesting times, and I'm willing to take a chance on that, though, because this is honestly the only thing that has kept me good in like the last couple years has been the render situation. Without that, I wouldn't have almost anything. It's crazy to believe, but I really would not have enough of I would not have any kind of like safety net or anything. And the times that I've run out of money or anything like that, I can always rely that I have some kind of crypto money to basically use for gas or use for groceries or something like that. So I'm really super thankful that I took this opportunity 3-4 years ago. Like, it's changed my life, but it's also been the only thing that has really helped me in those times, especially when I was doing DoorDash and doing all this stuff. Like, I could always rely on having like at that time it was like $50 to $60, to my name being sent over like every week or so. So I appreciate that. If anyone from Otoy watches this, just know being a node operator has been and is the best experience I've ever had. No matter how the rates have changed and stuff like that, like it's been my constant, and that's kept me going, you know, through this whole journey. So, well, guys, been a long episode. Wish me luck on Saturday. Take it easy. Have a good one. I will have new hairstyle soon. Peace.
That's spicy, that's not spicy.
Papa. There we are.
I don't have fingers like that's not nice.
There will always be people that tell you you can't do it, that you aren't worth it, that you'll never become what you say you will. And in some sense, they're right. But here's what I've learned. You mold the world into whatever you want it to be. If you want to be the kind of person that people look up to, you do the work. You build that version of yourself. Don't wait for anyone to hand you the keys, because no one's coming. They're right if you let them be right. So prove them wrong. Prove them all wrong. These vlogs are a blueprint, a man on a journey to show the world that one shift in mindset can change the life he lives. And if you're still here, watching me grow, you already know how this ends. So thanks for watching. If you could, just leave a like, a comment, or even a share. It keeps me going. And I'll see you guys next time in the archives of a Shiba Millionaire.